California Edition. I'm Brad Pomerance. He is back. He is Don Knabe. He is supervisor in Los Angeles County. Are you still chair?
I'm still chair.
He is chair of the Board of Supervisors in Los Angeles County. That's kind of like being governor.
Yeah, sort of like
if you think about it, because Michigan is a bit smaller than LA County. So
Exactly.
Can I call you governor?
Governor's fine.
Whatever it takes.
It works well.
I want to speak with you about an industry that has to fight hard for itself, and that is Hollywood. You know, it's easy to bash Hollywood with all the jet setters and stuff, but Hollywood is a lot more than just jet setters. Give us a sense, sir, about the importance of Hollywood, the entertainment industry, to this county, to this region, to the state.
Well, first of all, the film industry, the entertainment industry, is the third largest industry here behind tourism and entertainment. I mean, I will just tell you, for Los Angeles County in particular, the state of California, that industry is being treated just like other jobs are. Everybody thinks we got the great weather, nobody's ever going to leave.
Right.
This state and this county lost out in over $4 billion worth of filming.
And
in
why?
the last. Start with fees. Okay, the fact is that we have 88 different fees. You know, every city does something different, treats them differently.
I know Film LA, organization which you know well, is trying to streamline that process. But could one argue, sir, that the reason we've been losing so much production is that other states have been more effective with tax credit programs?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just knock down incentives to bring the industry there. I mean, you know, it's sort of sad when you go to New Orleans for a convention and they're filming some show that you recognize that could have been filmed right here in Los Angeles County, or the state of California. They do a lot of advertising. And the point you made early on is probably the biggest point. It's not the movie stars that you see on the big screen, the ones that get the press conferences, the ones that stand up in front of the photos and smile, do pose number 36. It's the entire production. It's the caterers, it's the people that do dry cleaning. It's everyone else, all the small industries that depend on filming that can't necessarily move. But all those are thousands of jobs.
For about a decade, I lived across from Rancho Park Golf Course. I'm sure you can envision it. And that street had no houses on that side of the street, and it was used quite frequently for filming. And I would get those notices from Film LA. And I thought, oh, it's not going to be too crowded. In the end, the street was impacted, but in the end, I said, you know what, this is okay, because there were so many people working. So many people. And I thought, if it wasn't for neighbors being friendly vis-a-vis these productions, these people wouldn't have a job.
Well, I will try to put a face to that number of $4 billion. The state lost almost 48,000 jobs because of that loss. And so, whereas a few years ago we had about 65% of all filming TV and movie, now we're down below 50%. I mean, and that small percentage means a huge number of jobs. Give you an example. Let me just look at this one, like Mad Men, that everybody talks about and knows about. AMC employed 975 crew, 196 cast, 1,706 background positions, the one we talked about. It also used 874 vendors throughout the state of California. Those are huge numbers.
You add up just, let's call them the employees, that's almost 3,000 people. You extrapolate that to their families, I mean, that's impacting 12,000 individuals, let's say.
Absolutely. And
that's a real number.
And that's why it's so frustrating at times, and we're working through Film LA, and we just extended their contract 5 years, and I've asked our CEO to look at some common denominator, the difference between the city of LA and the county of LA, the 87 other cities besides the city of LA. Can we bring some commonality to the fee structure so that the industry knows what they're looking for, so they don't have to go shop between Cerritos and Carson and Pacoima, do those kinds of things.
But there is good news. And the good news is Sacramento arguably got its act together. We know that there had been a $100 million credit program that just paled in comparison to New York, to Louisiana, to North Carolina. New York, a $440 million annual program. California has now passed its own $330 million program annually. What do you think? For 5 years, by the way.
Well, I mean, I think it's a good start. I mean, again, it's not just because we're California. We have to remember that we are no longer just on our own. This is not Hollywood. I mean, they'll put up a Hollywood sign in any state, in any city in the United States of America, and everybody's looking for jobs and business. And while it may be inconvenience, it's a temporary inconvenience. It's not like other controversial kinds of things, whether it's an oil drilling project or whatever it may be. It is a temporary situation and brings in incredible revenue, employs the people that are already there. You know, the donut shop, the cafeteria, lunch stops. Everyone benefits by those particular jobs, and they're there for a short period of time, and then they move on to the next one.
How would you respond to folks who would say, oh, this is just corporate welfare. This is a giveaway. We don't need to do this.
Well, they're obviously satisfied with their income. They're satisfied with what taxes they're paying. Mm-hmm. I don't think they realize the impact in the economy because, again, it's the distraction of the trailer in front of your house or something else like that. And I think the industry works very hard to be a good neighbor. I know that in areas where we worked, I used to be on the California Film Commission, and I know in a lot of those areas you go in, you really work hard with the neighbors to make it as comfortable as possible. You put them up in hotels, take them out to dinner, whatever it may be, and they try to be good neighbors.
But I think I do get a sense that Californians, Angelenos, we're realizing how important this is. And when you do get that notice from Film LA on your door handle, I think for the most part people say, you know what, small inconvenience, but that's what I do for my neighbors.
Exactly, and probably many other neighbors are employed in the industry too.
Right.
And again, all the people that are in the industry, all from way back here to the movie star, don't necessarily live in LA or Hollywood. They live throughout the county.
I want to ask you about another industry. I'm sure you know about Tesla. Mm-hmm. Tesla, a big, new, innovative company, sells a beautiful electric vehicle. You probably heard that they've decided to take their battery factory to Nevada. They're not actually headquartering it here. Some feel as if that's a big loss for California. But if you really look at the deal, what I've seen analysts say is that it is a race to the bottom deal in that Nevada may have just given away the store. What do you think about this notion that sometimes states get so worked up over luring business that they may rush to the bottom and give away so much it's not to the advantage of the state?
Well, that may be the case, but again, it's long term. This is almost 7,000 jobs. It's no different than trying to compete with Texas on various things. Right. The Toyota deal. Right. And now Toyota's reevaluating that.
Oh, is that true?
Yeah, they're looking at it different ways. Maybe not the entire move, maybe just pieces of that.
I didn't know that, okay.
So, but a state has to be aggressive, and you have to be competitive. And again, it's not having sunshine in February. You might have to deal with snowdrifts. The point being is I really do think where there's a lot of areas, not just tax incentives, workers' comp reform, and some of the other kinds of things, the issues that are out there consistently, that you have to be competitive in, and you can't just say, a lot of legislators say, they won't leave California. Well, they will.
And they have.
And they have.
What can a county do, especially a county that's the size of the state of Michigan? Is there anything it can do to create incentives, or does it really need to be the state?
It really needs to be the state because that's where the real legislative responsibility is as a different tech. Mm-hmm. We can get involved in either infrastructure kinds of issues, we can get involved in possessory interest kinds of situations to help them. And so we can facilitate that in between various communities. We have a lot of opportunities. We can't push the bottom line like the state of California can do to create the incentives to keep them here, but we can be part of a deal. We've done it with McDonnell Douglas over the years, sure. and I remember being on a red team under Pete Wilson where we had labor management, all of us in one room in a county, and worked out a deal to keep the plant here.
Has California done enough? Do we need to do more on the issue of Hollywood and the entertainment industry?
Well, I think this is a big first step. And I commend, I think it was Assemblymember Gatto,
right,
and I think Bossy Arago
Bocanegra
for this big first step. I think it's a step and say, hey, we're serious. I think it gets Hollywood's attention, it gets the location manager's attention. But I don't think we do enough. I think we really should have fought to keep Tesla. And I will say this about Tesla. They're a very aggressive company, and they really play people off against each other. We did that with Downey and Long Beach, and they already cut their deal up there in Fremont with Toyota. So you've got to be careful. You've got to watch your step. But, that's a good job. We need manufacturing jobs here.
His name is Don Knabe. He is chair of the Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors. I'm Brad Pomerance.